Okay, so huge news. Ripple just landed a U.S. banking charter. Now, for active XRPL participants, this is way more than just a headline. It's a fundamental shift in the entire game. So let's forget the price charts for a minute, because we're about to talk about the actual plumbing of a brand new financial system. Let's break down what this really means.
But to really get why this Ripple news is so massive, we have to zoom out. There's this big question that's been floating around our space for a while now. Are we actually living through a global financial reset? It's a huge idea, I know, but it's the backdrop for everything we're about to dive into.
Vendel from Black Swan Capitalist put it really well. He said, "This system was designed to collapse at some point. It's a debt-based system, they're backed into a corner, and they have to create strategical solutions." And that's the critical piece of the puzzle here. This new financial infrastructure isn't just some nice-to-have upgrade. It's an absolute necessity. And this right here is where Ripple enters the chat. We're about to look at a development that's pulling them out of the speculative crypto world and planting them firmly in the realm of regulated real-world finance. So here it is, the big one. Ripple now has conditional approval for a national trust bank charter from the US OCC. And let's be super clear about this. This isn't about some short-term price pump. No way. This is about building the actual rails that a future financial system is going to run on. So what does a charter like this actually unlock? Well, for starters, it basically transforms Ripple into a fully regulated U.S. financial institution. This means they can finally offer institutional-grade custody, they can issue regulated stablecoins, and this is the most critical part. It cements XRP's role as a federally recognized settlement asset. But what's the end game here? Where is all this leading? This charter is the key. It's their direct path to getting a Federal Reserve master account. With that, Ripple could settle directly with the Fed itself, cutting out a ton of the old-school banking middlemen and positioning XRP as a core bridge asset right at the heart of the new system. And that direct link to the Fed, it completely redefines what XRP is. It's not just about simple cross-border payments anymore. We're talking about it serving as a totally new type of bridge asset for this evolving financial world. A lot of analysts are making a really powerful comparison here. Now, let me be super clear. XRP is not backed by gold. That's not what this is about. The idea is that it's designed to function as its digital equivalent. Think about it. Gold provides that historical, physical anchor, but you need a lightning-fast digital asset for the kind of high-speed settlement that a modern global economy demands. Here is how Vendel explains it. You're going to need some sort of digital counterpart that is capable of carrying the weight and the extreme high valuations for settlement internationally. In the digital ecosystem, you have XRP. This just nails its potential role as that neutral, unbiased asset in a new financial world. Okay, so that's the huge top-level institutional picture. But what does this all mean for the individuals, for the active participants in the XRPL ecosystem who are building and using this stuff every single day? It's a totally fair question, right? When you see all this big institutional money and all these regulations moving in, you have to wonder, where do I fit in? How do I not only stay relevant, but actually benefit from all this? The answer is actually pretty simple. This kind of regulatory clarity is a massive reward for the people who have been focused on the fundamentals all along. We're talking about self-custody and active hands-on participation with the technology, not just, holding coins on an exchange and hoping for the best. This is exactly where communities like the XRP Tip Team are so important. See, while the big players are building the institutional framework from the top down, individuals can build from the ground up. This means accumulating XRP, not by trying to time the market, but by teaching others how to safely use the XRPL with tools like the Xaman wallet. It's about creating a true network effect, what some are calling infinite tip streams, all powered by sharing knowledge. Okay, so let's tie this all together. What does this mean for building your own position, for your own strategy, as we all move forward into this new era? This moment really crystallizes the difference between two completely different mindsets. On one side, you've got pure speculation, right? Timing trades, hoping for price pumps, holding on exchanges, and just passively waiting. But on the other side, you have active accumulation, sharing knowledge, building those infinite tip streams, practicing self-custody, and truly being an active participant. It's a huge shift from just holding to actually building. And it all comes down to this really powerful idea, which was captured perfectly by a panelist recently. We're at a point where we need real digital assets that have a use case for the people. The era of just pure hype is making way for the era of real tangible utility. So the takeaway here is pretty clear. While the institutions are building from the top down, there is this massive opportunity for all of us to build from the ground up through education and active participation. If you want to learn how you can accumulate XRP by teaching others about self-custody, you should definitely check out the XRP Tip Team community over at xrptipteam.com.